which we gather Cory of the equipment. Recommendation that regular council meeting agenda for April 10th, 2024 to be approved as circulated. Could I get a mover? Councillor Bailey, Councillor McCabe, all in favor? Thank you, Carrie. Recommendation of minutes of the regular council meeting held on March 27th, 2024 be adopted. Councillor Evans, Councillor Bushell, all in favor? Okay, thank you. You're now going to go into our public hearing. District of Sycamore zoning amendment bylaw 1044/2024. At this public hearing, council will consider zoning amendment bylaw 1044, which proposes to rezone the Shuswap North Okanagan Rail Trail from R1, 1 and 2 unit residential to P3 Park General. Update the CR Country Residential Zone, MUR2 Seasonal Accommodation Zone, and RVP3 Recreational Vehicle Park 3 Zone. Apply more appropriate zoning to select properties and correct formatting errors. If you believe your interest in property is affected, you'll be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard or present within submissions to council concerning proposed land use amendments. The public is invited to make presentations to council, and everyone will be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard. No one should feel discouraged or prevented from making their views known. In-person attendees will be asked to speak first, followed by anyone participating online. Please observe the following procedural rules during a public hearing. Please listen and be courteous to everyone who makes a presentation to council. Please do not interrupt the speaker. Everyone will have an opportunity to be heard. Please also be mindful that interruptions and background noise make it difficult for online attendees to hear what is being shared. Thank you for being mindful of this. If you would like to make a presentation to council, please line up at the podium. We just ask that you do not block the doors at the back of the room. If the line has reached the doors, please remain in your seat until the line shortens. Please wait until you've been acknowledged to speak. State your name for the record. In-person attendees are asked to speak from the podium using the microphone. To ensure everyone has equal opportunity to speak, we ask that you keep your presentation to 3 minutes in length. You will be notified when 30 seconds remain. Council members may ask questions following your presentation. However, the main function of council is to listen to the views of the public. It is not to debate the merits of the proposal with individual citizens. Please direct all your comments through me, the meeting chair. This includes any concerns about how the meeting is being conducted. This is the final opportunity to comment on the proposed zoning amendments, as council members are not permitted to receive any new submissions after the close of the public hearing. Staff will now be asked to provide a brief synopsis of the proposal. After this introduction, I will open the floor to presentations from the public. Nicole, do you want to start? Hello? Here? No, you're not working.
Okay, well, I'm glad I brought these papers because I can't see the screen. Okay, so Nicole Hansen, Development Services Manager, and today I'm going to go over the public hearing slide for bylaw amendment 1044/2024. Okay, so this is the reconsideration of zoning bylaw 1044/2024 that was defeated on February 14th, 2024. Since the bylaw was defeated, no changes have been made, and the bylaw is being presented today as it was on February 14th. Amendments to zoning bylaw 1000/2022 include general grammar and formatting corrections, corrections to some definition, and 6 property rezones. I've added some history in the slides here just to walk us through why we're here today. So first and second reading of 1044/2024 was given July 26, 2023. The amendment bylaw includes rezoning the Shuswap North Okanagan Rail Trail from R1 to P3. At that time, council chose to wait until revised crossing agreements between the CSRD and adjacent property owners to the trail were provided before advancing the amendment bylaw further. Additional items since then were identified, and 2 property owners have requested zoning that is consistent with zoning bylaw 101/1993. And crossing agreements have also since been provided by the CSRD to adjacent property owners to the trail. On February 14th, the bylaw received second reading as amended, and then it went to public hearing, and that's when council defeated third reading on the same day. On February 28th, council heard a delegation with a petition requesting council change its stance on bylaw 1044 as it relates to the Shuswap North Okanagan Rail Trail project. And then following the delegation, Mayor Anderson gave notice that she would be exercising her authority under the community charter for council to reconsider third reading of the bylaw. At the March 13th committee of the whole meeting, staff presented options, and that's why we are here today at the senior center. This date was chosen for the reconsideration. And then at the March 27th committee of the whole meeting, an update was provided by the CSRD on the Shuswap North Okanagan Rail Trail construction, and the committee was provided with a briefing note. So today, third reading is scheduled, and if carried, approval from MOTI is required prior to adoption, so we are not doing adoption today, just the public hearing and third. Okay, so I guess to get into maybe the more boring stuff, some of the corrections that we were proposing. So in the country residential zone, we're adding a term agriculture, just for ease of locating the correct setbacks within the zone. In the MUR2 seasonal accommodation zone, we're correcting the density. The numbers were switched, and right now it says that the maximum density of dwelling units shall be 120 per hectare, and that should be 60 per hectare. So that changes in there. And then in the RVP3 zone, we have a lengthy description for temporary accommodation, for travelers, vacation, and we just want to call that short-term rental. Okay, so one of the property rezones, we have 524 developed. And this is actually the District of Sick Moose Water Treatment Plant. And right now it's zone P1, civic and recreational, and P2, works and services, is more appropriate. And then these are the 2 properties that were added. We have 717 Trans-Canada Highway frontage. It's currently zoned C2, and they're proposing to go back to R1. Right now, they have no commercial operation on the property, and it's a residential mobile home there. And then on the right-hand side, we have 913 Roma Crescent, and they're proposing to go from R1 to MUR1. Right now, they have I believe it's a 4-plex or a 5-plex, not a single-family dwelling, and so the MUR1 is more appropriate. And then the last 3, we have rail trail properties, currently all zoned R1, and all 3 are proposed to go to P3. So I think that's the end of my slides, but we do have a member of the ownership present today, so CAO McLean, and I understand you'd like to speak today.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Mayor and Council. My name is John McLean. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer for the Columbia Shuswap Regional District and representing the ownership of the Shuswap North Okanagan Rail Trail owners. I'll keep my comments short today. On behalf of the Shuswap North Okanagan Rail Trail owners, Splatine, the Regional District of North Okanagan and the Columbia Shuswap Regional District, I would like to thank Council for the opportunity to present our interests. For the record, rail trail owners are fully in support of the passage of bylaw 1044 and the rezoning of our property, the rail trail.
Please speak up, John.
Yes, thank you. And the rezoning of our property, rail trail, P3 Part 10. Our primary interest is to have the zoning that allows and facilitates as a permitted use the development, operation, and maintenance of a public non-motorized pathway, which we are in the process of constructing. This important legacy project will showcase the beauty and wonder of our communities and will will benefit the residents, visitors, and businesses of the Shuswap North Okanagan for generations to come. This project and the partnership it guides it is an example of innovation, collaboration, and reconciliation. Thank you, Madam Mayor. We are in support of the rezoning, and I'll answer any question from council if there are any.
Council, any questions? No. Thank you
Very much.
Thanks, John. Okay, we're going to open up the public hearing now. So for those that would like to speak, they can start to line up at the podium. What we'd like to do is make sure that you state your name for the record, please. Okay. Hello, my name is Randy. Oh, that's loud. I think I can do it without. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello, my name is Randy D. Ryder. I'm a full-time resident of the town of Sycamore, BC. I'm also a proponent of the rail trail. I'll give my reasons why. Your first light come on, go for it. Not only it will not only attract more tourists, ones who wish to hike, bike, and walk, but the trail will be good for businesses in town. It'll not only promote the businesses, they coming off the trail, you want to have a drink, or, you know, something to eat. So that's really good, but it will boost employment in this town. And right now, as it stands, there's many places that I know, I've seen a lot of sledders and ATVs complaining that they can't go there, which is a good thing. I'm all about that. Because they aren't interested in the scenery or not spewing gas into the air. I moved here. As a kid, we always came to BC on holiday. I fell in love with you in the mountains and the forest and the animals and the water. And that's why I moved here. Because if I want a big city, I can go back and big Calgary. So with this is not just an economic thing, it is a health thing. That rail trail will promote health. It will help people who walk on it, ride horses on it. I don't ever suspect I'll make it to Armstrong and back in a day unless I plan to take up an Olympic sport, and that's not happening. So the thing is, but there's ones who would. And it will promote circulation of the body, help the heart, help your blood pressure. And it's not just physical, it's emotional and mental health. And there's nothing makes me happier than being in the forest, out in nature, and seeing Bambi's, bears, and birds that I can take pictures of when I'm riding my bike. So this is a good thing for the town. Right now, we can't go anywhere without being run over. If you're walking, and not just me, there are people older than me, people younger than me, people with dogs, people with horses. This is a good thing. And I know people say taxes, but taxes go up all the time and we're all gonna pay them. No matter how we like it or don't. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My name is Leanne Hamilton. I'm a local resident, business owner, and I'm proud to be on the Shuswap North Okanagan Trail Friendly City.
Leanne, can I get you to hold your mic just a little closer?
Okay.
Thank you.
My intention when I started this petition was to see if others in the community felt the same way as I did. As I was devastated when council did not approve the rezoning of the rail trail property. The support I have received since starting this petition is incredible, with a total of 1,332 signatures, which is amazing to me. Of these signatures, 692 are local residents of Sick Moose, 44 are local business owners, and the remainder are lovers of our beautiful community. As said in my last speech to council, this is more people than we see at our municipal elections. On behalf of these supporters, I ask that you listen to the community as a whole. The rail trail is simply a walking, biking path that is for the community of Sick Moose to enjoy, not a select few. We ask that you vote yes tonight to rezoning the rail trail property to enable us to start the Shuswap North Okanagan Rail Trail now in Sick Moose. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Sue Miller, and I've lived in the community now since the 1990s. Tonight, I've been asked to read a letter on behalf of Greg Kylo, dated Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. So he says, I would like to thank the Sick Moose Council for the invitation to tonight's council meeting on the Sick Moose Trail and express my regrets that I cannot attend in person. The Sycamoose to Armstrong Rail Trail project first came to my attention nearly 11 years ago when I was first elected as the MLA for Shuswap. The project's vision and the excitement it generated inspired me not just an advocate, but a passionate champion for the trail. In 2017, while I was part of the government, I was able to help secure $2.17 million for the acquisition of a critical 43-kilometer section of the rail trail corridor between Sycamoose and Armstrong. This was a very exciting day and a significant milestone in pushing this project forward. A project like this is not possible without the incredible leadership and support from the community. And I would like to acknowledge and commend the work of Splatine for CSRD, RDNO, the Shuswap Trail Alliance, and so many others that have worked so hard to continue the work towards completing this project. I am proud of what has been accomplished on the Sycamoose to Armstrong Trail, and I will continue to support this project to the best of my abilities going forward. Warmest regards, Greg Kylo, MLA. Thank you.
I'm Linda Stewarts. I live on Temple Street. I'm one of over 1,300 people who signed the petition asking council to pass zoning bylaw amendment 1044. My husband and I have been permanent Sycamoose residents and property owners for 5 years. I volunteer. Maybe we'll just talk straight.
Sorry, can we just try this mic for a minute?
Yes, it's cutting in and out.
Yeah.
Do I get my timer restarted? Thank you, Mayor and Council. That's good. Again, I'm Linda Stewarts on Temple Street. I'm one of over 1,300 people who signed the petition. My husband and I have been permanent Sycamoose residents and property owners for 5 years. I volunteer at Salty Dog events, passing out brochures and taking the money of excited rail trail supporters. These ordinary folks handed over their cash because they shared the dream of a waterfront trail they could walk or cycle with their kids, or buy a meter of trail as a legacy for their grandchildren. Majority are regular working folks or retirees who do not own multi-million-dollar waterfront homes, yet they dare to dream, sharing the beauty of our lakes with their families on a public trail created for the benefit of all. What do you say to legions of voters who spend countless hours volunteering, fundraising over $300,000 for this trail? Rezone now so we can start the rail trail at 0.5 kilometers and connect our downtown with a future goal of access right at the Broom Bridge to make it accessible to all. The pump track, your votes were justified on the basis of economic benefits for the town. Sycamoose will host a qualifying event for the 2024 UCI Pump Track World Champs this fall. Quote, "This event will be a great addition to our slower shoulder season time, promoting visitation and bringing both local and international riders to Sycamus," said Sycamus EC Dev. Your votes were also justified on the basis of promoting the health, physical fitness, and benefits of outdoor activities for our citizens by providing a conveniently located facility. We're encouraging our kids to get out, unplug and play. So I think that this is a great investment. Mayor Anderson, a pump track requires users to invest thousands of dollars in specialized equipment. The rail trail achieves all of the benefits councillors are so excited about without one extra dollar spent on equipment by families or seniors. The trail will serve walkers of all abilities, dog lovers, pedal e-bikes, and electric scooters to ensure universal mobility access.
30 seconds.
In winter, snowshoers will join hikers and use the trail. Over $15 million has already been raised. Over 1,300 people signed their names. That's a serious commitment by a wide base of popular support. Limiting access to a trail meant for all citizens to suit the encroachment on CP lands by the few is not a responsible way to represent your constituents. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Colleen D. I live on Old Salt Machine Road, on the rail trail side. I also volunteer as a director on the Economic Development Corporation, and I sit as the chair of the tourism board. My strong support for the proposed rail trail project. This aims to link our small communities together, providing a scenic path along breathtaking Mare Lake and the adjacent river. As a full-time resident of Sycamus, I believe that implementing this project would greatly benefit our town and the surrounding areas in numerous ways. Please move forward with rezoning so we can move forward with the rail trail. Our town experiences a surge of activity and visitors during the summer months due to its natural beauty and recreational opportunities, mainly the lake. However, in the fall and the spring, tourism tends to decline. Our businesses close or they struggle financially. Establishing the rail trail will attract visitors year-round, boosting our local economy and providing sustainable growth opportunities for our businesses. Moreover, the addition of this possible free ferry service would enhance the accessibility and excitement of the trail, encouraging more people to explore the area. The new free ferry service would provide a much-needed access for residents living on the Old Small Machine side during the summer when the Trans-Canada gets very busy and the access becomes quite dangerous. This ferry service would also provide much-needed relief in the construction of the Bruin Bridge for us who are concerned about how we're going to get into town. Sycamus currently lacks sufficient sidewalks and walking trails in natural settings. As a runner, after moving here, I found it quite difficult and unsafe to manage. The rail trail would address this need by offering residents and visitors alike a serene environment for walking, cycling, and other leisure activities. This would particularly benefit our seniors and our children's community, providing them with a safe and tranquil space to enjoy our beautiful outdoors. Furthermore, investing in the development of a rail trail aligns with broader sustainability goals and promotes environment-friendly transportation options. By encouraging walking and cycling, we can reduce carbon emissions and promote healthier lifestyles among our residents. We have several unfinished projects in Sycamus. I would hate to see this one fall into that category. In conclusion, I urge the town council to move forward on the rezoning. This project will help stimulate economic growth and tourism, as well as enhancing the quality of life for our residents and our visitors by providing a safe and walking path.
Okay. Good evening. Oh, my name, Brenda Bell, Riverside Avenue resident for 20 years. Good evening, Mayor, councilors, gallery. I'm standing here to express my full support for the development of the rail trail in Sycamus. It is crucial for council to prioritize the interests of our entire community by embracing initiatives that promote business success, create new business opportunities, boost our tourism, and foster a healthy, active lifestyle for our residents and visitors alike. The rail trail project holds immense potential to not only enhance the economic landscape of Sycamore, but also to improve the overall quality of life for those who have chosen to invest, reside, and visit our community. By voting yes to the rezoning tonight, it clearly speaks to this community. I shouldn't have looked at you. Speaks to the community that you continue to back the initiative that was started. And council, you can demonstrate your commitment to the well-being and the prosperity of Sycamore and its residents. Council's responsibility lies with doing what's beneficial to the entire community, not a select few residents. The rail trail project has been on council's strategic priority for 6 years. The values, 3 of the 6 speak directly to the rail trail and what it means to your constituents. Collaboration, you are willing to work with the community and stakeholders to create successful outcomes for the betterment of the entire community. Leadership, as the governing body of the municipality, you lead by example and act in the best interest of the community. Stewardship, you are fiscally responsible and make sound decisions about the public assets and natural resources of our community and surrounding area. I ask that tonight you vote yes in favor of rezoning the rail trail lands within the district of Sycamore. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Marty Bradwell, and my wife and I moved here 4 years ago. And if you look outside, we don't have to explain why we moved here. My letter was more to do with the access, but we are both in favor of the rail trail. The access to the pending north portion of the rail trail seems to be a dilemma which requires all options explored to determine the safest and most viable, youth-friendly, year-round method is achieved. Traveling the #1 highway from the lower mainland through the Banff National Park, there are numerous locations where overhead pedestrian bicycle crossings have been constructed. These crossings have been built to provide various access to locations such as a transit park and ride at Langley, UFB and the Sports Entertainment Complex in Abbotsford, as well as the lane cantilever off the rail crossing over Highway 1 at Chilliwack to continue their bike route. Further to these, there is crossing access just east of here at Crazy Creek Hot Pool, as well as countless wildlife crossings throughout provincial and national parks. The highway crossings don't appear to be a new thing or an unresolved problem in these above circumstances. Crossing the Sycamore Narrows in a similar manner should not be a daunting of a project. It would only make sense that a pedestrian bicycle route be added to the south side of the current bridge and highway and include the construction of the eventual new bridge. This would provide year-round accessibility to the trail and be consistent with the network of trails throughout the various Okanagan and North Okanagan communities. Year-round access would be important to visitors and locals who may wish to use the trail on a nice sunny day in the off-season for walking, bicycling, and even snowshoeing. The Ruben Ferry crossing the Narrows, although a novel idea, seems a bit out of reality as it would be seasonal, operating on a time schedule which in peak season would be placing a congested number of pedestrians and cyclists onto the path at certain times. Further to this, there would be numerous regulatory conditions to be met to comply with Transportation Canada. Financially, at present, this seems a good choice. Rest assured, as time goes on, this mode of transportation will become a costly burden on the taxpayers of Sycamore. The District of Sycamore Council, who I'm sure already have and should continue to, lobby our local MP, Mr. Arnold, and MLA, Mr. Kahlo, into having their respective levels of government step up and do the right things regard to the Sycamore north portion of the trail. Projects and attractions such as this although beneficial to local residents, also provide destination venue for visitors province-wide, nationally, and internationally. Imagine a cycling vacation package covering the Naramata Winery Tour Trail, the Kettle Valley Bridge Trail, and the North Okanagan Trail along Mare Lake. That would be a must-do for all outdoor enthusiasts. The scope and network of these trails extends far outside the boundaries of the district systems, and other than maintaining the portion within the district, should be a federal and provincial joint effort. Thank you, and we are in favor of you approving the rezone tonight.
Madam Speaker, my name is Wade Gillespie. Councillors, I look up to you all for the public efforts you guys do. My concern, and I hope somebody else would have brought it up sooner, because I've noticed a kind of lack of information, you might say, regarding some older policy, or I don't know what the proper term is, but I know there was some issue about making parks a safe place for drug users of illicit drugs. And I just wonder why this hasn't been, no. Sorry, let me back up. Just wanted to be a concern that if you zone this to a park, that it doesn't become that. And I know Mayor Anderson has done great moves forward in preventing that, but from my understanding, it's still in the courts. So concern is that may change, and this might become an area that we don't want to be drug use. I'm not against bicycles or pedestrians walking on the side of Mirror Lake. It's better, far better than on the east side of Mirror Lake where there's lots of traffic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Colin Wangler, Sycamoose. I've read a lot of information on this particular project, attended a lot of meetings, had a lot of one-on-one conversations with people in town, and I guess I really love the enthusiasm. I know that everyone wants to see this rail trail happen, but what I see here is that a lot of people are already way out into the use. And what I see right now is we've got an opportunity by rezoning this now to have a defined construction schedule from 0.5 on, that's funded with money that comes from outside of this community. And I just fear that if we delay this rezoning, that we put into jeopardy that known schedule and that known funding and the construction of this trail. We can all get together and debate the use and when it opens at the future time, but we have to build it or we won't have that opportunity. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mary Lella. I would like to thank all our councillors for not approving this when they didn't approve it, and to carry on and get more information. None of us would have been here tonight if they didn't do that. It would have been approved, and then what? I'm really pleased to see a lot of speakers out, a lot more information coming forward, and I hope that all of you are considering this when you make your decision. If there are some major concerns, we would sure like to hear about them. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Barbara Scott. I invested in Sycamoose 5 years ago. It is an amazing place, and I'd like to thank all of the councillors and the mayor for considering and working hard towards making the rail trail work. And I don't believe for a second that there's anyone in this room that doesn't see the value of having a beautiful trail for us to hike on. I think everybody wants to see that. And I do understand the caution that certain councillors have brought up, wanting to make sure that we're doing our due diligence. I'm really loud by myself normally. And I think that I encourage those councillors to, can you guys hear me? I encourage those councillors to really trust in administration and in the community that lives here, that we can solve the problems attached once we get the zoning changed. This trail is not going to get built tomorrow, and there's a lot of little details that we have to work out, but I think that we're all super smart, and I think we're all capable to making a trail that's safe for our families, that's good for our business, and that will continue to see Sycamoose thrive. When I bought Sycamoose houseboats, I came here because I believe this community is sitting on the edge of greatness. And I honestly believe that something like the Rail to Trail could be that motivating factor that just gets us there, guys. So we can have more than one bay, and more restaurants, and more shopping, and more resources for our families and for our seniors, and for everybody who needs those things. And I really think this is the opportunity for us. And I'm concerned that if we delay it, that it won't happen. My experience here as a business person in Sycamoose and in British Columbia is we get tangled up in the red tape and things don't move forward. I really ask you guys, don't be the red tape. We can do this. We can make this happen and then figure it out. The other piece I'd like you to just think about too is that I have a special needs daughter. And I moved to this community after living in Canmore, Alberta. And I don't know how many of you have been to Canmore. We have amazing accessibility. There's very little my daughter can do here that isn't a challenging trail that she can take an adapted vehicle on. This trail would give people of all mobility a lot of access. One more reason for us to say yes.
That should work out.
Hello?
Hi, my name is Liz Falaise. I am a full-time resident of Sycamoose since November 2020, so pretty new. I have become very impressed with this town. I love this little town and the people in it. Once we moved here, we started to get interested in what was happening in the town. We watched council meetings and to find out what was happening in this very small but very important community. We learned about the rail trail project back in 2021, and I was extremely excited about it and have been following it ever since. I wanted this to happen because I knew it would impact this community in a very positive way. I was so excited that I asked my sisters to give a birthday donation on my behalf to the Rail Trail project. I am 100% in favor of this project and want to see it through to completion. The council that I voted for should make the same commitment. Supporting this project is the right decision. This project will put Sycamoose on the map like it has never been before. Not only that, it will prove that we are a united community and that we have a spirit of cooperation. Let's focus and endorse what is good and positive for this community. After all, isn't that what our elected council is supposed to endorse? I have walked the current trail a few times and actually envisioned hundreds of people walking and biking the trail, enjoying this beautiful landscape as they get acquainted with this town of Sycamoose. What an opportunity for trail users to come into our town, maybe for the first time. This petition of over 1,000 signatures not only represents our local community support, but 50 kilometers of support. What does that say to you as a council? Perhaps it's time to sit up and take notice of what the majority are saying. We want this and we need this. The rail trail partners are working and have worked very hard to get this project up and running, and I believe they are committed to working with us to make this happen. Remember the spirit of cooperation. Here is our chance to prove what this community is made of. Let's think forward and not only get this into first gear, but move it forward to completion. What a celebration that will be. Council, do the right thing by voting yes to rezoning. We believe in you. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else that wants to speak to the zoning? Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Shane Arloy. I'm a landowner in town, as well as a landowner in Canmore. We saw the trail from Canmore to Banff get put in. I don't know, probably 10 years.
Sorry, Shane, they can hear you.
We saw the trail being put in from Banff to Canmore. The economic benefit from that has been amazing. The rail trail will have an amazing economic benefit to this community. I think the problem is a simple one. The problem is that you need an amendment to the zoning that does two things. One, allow for a transportation corridor as one of the uses. Secondly, having a utility corridor on the same zoning. I would ask one of the councillors make the motion that there be an amendment to your current zoning to add those two uses. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hi, Chief Fawcett. I'm in Area E. My husband and I have been residents there probably about 35 years. My parents live up on Canby Solsquat. So more in the Sycamoose district. You know, we're here half time. We're here 6 months of the year, April to Thanksgiving every year, usually to the end of October. And we've also seen, we were residents down in Estoyas. We owned a winery for many years. And we watched the trail get put in between Oliver to Estoyas. And we also watched the benefits that came just for our business as well as the businesses in the Estoyas and the Oliver region. And they were significant. And I think if you look at it, this whole area is really poised to, I actually wrote like 3 different versions. Completely different, but I think over this. Shuswap is really, Sickness is really poised to reap substantial benefits once the trail is completed. And I think you've heard many people mention that they thought that's what would happen. If it's completed from the 0.5 Sickness all the way down to Armstrong, so 50 kilometers. And I've seen 49, 51 kilometers, not sure exactly which one is correct, but it's right around there. And, you know, maybe someday it's going to be connected to Vernon Kelowna and then all the way to Estoyas, which would be just absolutely world class. And maybe that's how we should be talking about this world class trail. Successful rail trails throughout Canada, BC, North America, and they have all shown how much they benefit the economically benefit communities in their area, and they benefit them immensely. There was an economic impact analysis, which you're probably aware of, that was done for the Okanagan Rail Trail. And the reason they didn't do one for this portion, because they said, you know what, we can extrapolate from what that really great study projected for this area of the North Okanagan and the Shuswap. And at that time, they looked at that portion, that they were going to have 500,000 visitors in the first 5 years. They were going to have 70 person years of employment after 5 years. And $7 million, I can't read should put my glasses on. Anyways, you get the gist. You know what, they actually met their, projections for the number of people using the trail in the first year. And it's only increased since then. So, yeah, okay, so I'm thinking, you know, up here, it won't be 500,000, maybe it's a quarter of that, but it's gonna be significant. It's gonna be significant for the businesses. We are fully supportive. We actually walked the trail.
was Lake to Vernon on Sunday, and the number of people using that trail on Sunday was just, there's so many, and most of them were walkers, which is funny, we're bikers. They were mainly, there were lots and lots of walkers out there, but all the way, and you know, it's a beautiful trail, and we should have that same access for there. Anyways, we're fully supportive, urging council to approve it. You know, if you don't rezone and another way to think about it, do you have to have a different zoning, or could you just change the word in the official community plan? Take the word transportation corridor out of there and change it. Huh? Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rowan Martin. I do not live in Sycamore. I live in Area E, and I am the representative for Area E on the Columbia Shuswap Regional District. I don't normally come and speak at the District of Sycamore's public hearings, but I feel that this one does really affect me. It has been part of my life for quite some time, and I am very grateful that the mayor used her powers to bring it back so that you are able to hear from these people in the audience that have got up and spoken from their hearts what they really believe about the rail trail. This is something that Area E and the District of Sycamore have contributed financially together through the Economic Opportunity Fund. It's a project that we have worked on together, and it would be amazing to see it completed. I realize that for some members of council, there are some questions that are unanswered, and they will get answered as time progresses. This is a project that we need for the whole region, for our economic viability, for the mental well-being of our population, and just for the beauty of the area so that we can go out and enjoy it on that side of the lake without getting run over by vehicles. I urge council to support this, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to come and speak to you today. Thank you very much.
Okay, anyone else in the gallery that would like to speak to the zoning? Okay. If there's anyone else, did you want to form a line behind the podium there? Because from here we'll go to the folks that are zoomed in.
Hello, my name is Lisa Figueroa. I live on Coach Road. I'd like to thank the mayor and the council for inviting all of us to come to this meeting, and thank you for reconsidering. A rail trail is not a new idea. Rail trails have existed in our province for years and years. We have many decommissioned railway lines, and ours on Coach Road is just, you know, below Coach Road is just one more of these decommissioned railway lines. And it just seems like such a fabulous thing to be able to walk and do something for free within our community. And that anybody could do it. And that we could welcome visitors from near and afar to join us on these walks and cycles. The idea, these three different groups have come together and bought this land with this idea. And I think it's 7 years ago, the land was purchased. And I understand that there's a grant, and that grant has to be used before the end of October. And if Sycamore is not a part of that grant and we don't use that money, then where are we going to get the money from? Maybe 2, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, everything exponentially increases in cost. This is all ready for us right now. And the zoning R1 doesn't make sense at all for this piece of land, because R1 means residential 1 or 2 unit buildings could be built there. The land is too small for any, it's not wide enough for any building, so it's an inappropriate zoning. It is ill, we've been progressing towards a park for all these years. The only thing that is missing is the P3 zoning. And if that happens, like many other people have said, there will be economic and joyful and beautiful things for all of us to enjoy. So I'd like to thank you for inviting me to your meeting and to have this opportunity to speak. And I'd really like to see the zoning changed to P3 for all of our benefits. And we're just joining something that exists already in our province. From Osoyoos all the way, it would be fabulous if it came all the way to here. Thank you very much.
I'm Jack Powers of Salmon Arm, formerly a developer in Sycamore. So I certainly encourage, council to really consider the zoning. I think I get the feel for the whole room that everybody's in favor of the rail trail, including myself. And I'm an avid cyclist, but really there is naysayers in the community. There is naysayers, and that's why it was turned down. But really coming here, I don't quite understand, I don't expect an explanation now, as to why it was turned down. It had to do with the zoning, it had to do with the access. So my concern is, if we just do those simple grammar errors and correct them, are you getting it to the right zoning that all of a sudden in 3 months' time or 4 months' time, those naysayers haven't got a legal right to raise supreme heck? I'll keep my language down. So I really, rather than, I want it to go through. I'd love it to say, yeah, it's approved tonight and you're full bore. But I'd hate to find out in 3 months' time that if you just tweak the zoning just the tiniest bit to satisfy all the naysayers, that it's going ahead and we'll be cycling on it with no headaches and no threats and no letters to the paper, etc. Because I don't think anybody's gonna bitch about me out there on a bike, whatever kind of bike it is. So thank you to council and mayor.
Tough crowd for us tonight. I think most of you know me, as well. I'm Natalie Sorl. I live in Campbell Soulsco and I'm a business owner in town.
Yeah, can I get you to speak up, please?
Yeah, can everybody hear me? Yeah. So yes, we distributed the flyers and you know what? It's brought everybody out tonight and I think that's really important. And I want to thank council for the opportunity of the pause to bring some information forward that was really important. The last gentleman, I didn't catch his name, but I do think what he brought up was really important. And yesterday, as part of the emails and the letters that council and staff received, there was a letter also provided by a lawyer to explain the legal implications of rezoning this land to Parks 3 as it relates to the official community plan. I'm not going to read this letter now. I am going to post it later so that anyone interested can read it. But to that point, everybody wants to see this rail trail completed. Every single one of you, every person in this room actually, I think, would say that they want to see it completed. However, we do not need to railroad 23 properties by zoning it to parks in order to make this trail happen. There are other options available, softer options in the zoning, transportation corridor. The bottom or the southerly 30 some kilometers of trail are zoned agricultural land reserve. They will never be zoned parks. We have transportation corridor zoning within Enderby and Forest Flat Scene. They are not zoned, but they maintain their jurisdiction over those 7+ kilometers of trail. The point of this hearing and the point of the pause, from what I understood, was to make sure that not only all the planning and the development aspects of this trail were in order, which I would still question, but I'm not gonna get into that right now, but to speak to the legal implications and what is happening in regards to the official community plan and the park zoning, you are all on notice and have been made aware. So I want to answer that question to that gentleman. Yes, there are legal implications to zoning it to parks. Yes, there are other options available, that would make absolutely everybody happy, and the trail can move forward immediately. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cory Mitchell. We're property owners on Old Spalding Chain Road. And to mirror what Natalie said, we've always been pro trail. We've wanted the trail. We've been excited about the opportunity to have it. But again, listening to what's going on and what's happening in the room, there's, I think, genuinely a complete misconception of the property owners on the west side. We're not against it. We never have been against it. And if I may, even the whole reason the other lady brought up, why would it be rezoned to R1? Part of that was because there was so much discontent over the last 4 to 5 years trying to sort out how we can accomplish this. And Mayor Colleen Anderson, you were part of that. You understood what we were trying to accomplish to benefit this entire community. And the sad part is there's been bullying, people vilified in the media, everywhere, and complete misunderstandings put out there that just aren't true. So anyway, I'm here as a property owner, and yes, I'm a dock owner, and I want the trail. And our dock doesn't impede. That dock has been here for 30 to 50 years when an active rail line was there. How is it a problem now? What problem and what impediment does it have to now have people walk down a trail? We want that. We all want that. Every owner along there. We even said before, we'll pay to have it built. We just want to keep our docks. We want the quiet enjoyment that we thought we bought when we invested there. And we've been in this community for 15 years. My wife's from BC. We came back. This was supposed to be our utopia, and it's turned into a nightmare. And everything is just fisticuffs all the time. And it's sad. Anyway, thank you.
Your worship, members of council, can people hear me? My name is Don Howson. I'm a resident here. I bought in April of 2021. I live in the right in the middle of town. I've grown into this community. Part of the reason why Ingrid DeHaan and I have grown into this community is we've acquired a dog. This is a wonderful place to live if you have a dog. We're very lucky to live here. As an aside, I know a thing or two about zoning. I practiced municipal law for over 30 years. There is a difference between R1, transportation corridor, and parks. And in my respectful submission, the correct rezoning for this property is parks. I do appreciate the concerns expressed by the last two deputants. However, much of those docks encroach on not only the allowance around the rail trail, which is significant, but also on the rail trail itself. And that is going to be a problem from a liability perspective. That is a problem that I'm sure can be addressed. I don't think that anybody's insensitive to that. I don't think anybody wants to see the docks go. But in my respectful submission, Parks is the most natural rezoning option for this trail. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, thanks. And just a reminder, this is about zoning, not the dogs themselves. Thanks.
Oh, really? I'm not gonna be long, just a couple of minutes. My name is Dave Hamilton. I live at 222 Copperstone Lane here in Sycamoose, been here since 2020. I'm one of the over 1,300 people who signed the petition. I'm also one of the 44 business owners in town. And I'm asking you today to rezone to parks. This land that we're talking about, this rezone, it was acquired for all of us to enjoy. The sole purpose of this trail is a rail trail, and that's it. So I'm asking you today, with 1,300 and some people, 600 and some people from our community, together, we're asking to rezone this to parks. Okay, thank you.
Hey, is there anyone else in the gallery? We're gonna move to those folks on Zoom now. Sarah, do we have anyone on Zoom that wants to speak? Those folks on Zoom that would like to speak, just raise the yellow icon hand. Dan calling, second time? Calling the third time? Thanks, everyone. This public hearing is now closed. Okay. The District of Sycamore Zoning Amendment Bylaw 1044, 2024, reconsideration of the third reading. It's recommendation that the District of Sycamore Zoning Amendment Bylaw 1044, 2023 be given third reading this 10th day of April, 2024. Can I get a mover? Councillor Bailey, Councillor Bushel, Council, any comments?
Well, thank you for being here tonight, and I just want to, address a couple of things that I've heard tonight, and I was one of the four that voted against it. I would do it again, based on the information that I had at the time. And what we discovered in the last several weeks is a lot of important information. I don't think everybody was at the last committee of the whole that we had, but we had a great presentation from CSRD. We've had multiple meetings with the CSRD that brought, and the rail trail owners and SWAPSN and MOTI, and a lot of these important players where there were question marks around the information that we were getting. That was the reason I voted against it. In that time, like I said, there's a lot of information. We know now that MOTI has given us assurances that it will connect into 0.5. Several weeks ago or 6 weeks ago, it got moved from 0 to 0.5. We didn't know what that meant. We didn't actually know if that was going to get connected in, for sure, to the new Broom Bridge. And I want to just touch on that for a moment, because that Broom Bridge is an inherent, very important piece to the economic development piece that this rail trail will have. Because it has to be connected into downtown for us to really see the economic benefits. And if it wasn't, then we had to figure that out. And that was a piece of it. We also know that it's going to be a continuous trip. There was some question marks about could it go through certain things. I think though that has been, those concerns have been alleviated. So within this 5 or 6 weeks, don't want it to be seen at all that none of this work was being done. And the people who voted against it weren't actively doing that work. I certainly was. I'm a business owner in this town. I came to Sycamore 5 years ago, and I ran for council, not because I want to hold the town back. That's the opposite of what I want to do. I want to see it grow. I want to see it actually Taking every opportunity in front of it. And that's what I'm committed to doing. And that's why I'm sitting on council. So I am voting yes to resolve this tonight. I think there's things that people need to know, that the economic benefits that I think will be there. It's going to be staged. And if anybody listened to what Phil said at the last committee of the whole, we need to temper some of this enthusiasm that all of these benefits are going to be here right away. They're not. The Broom Bridge is going to take 3 years to construct once it actually begins. And that's exactly, right? 5 years ago, they were starting the Broom Bridge. It was going to be that month, right? But that is a key piece, right? But that will connect into the rail trail, and that's important. Council has a priority for a pedestrian bridge. We'll see, right? We don't have the money to actually build a $20 million pedestrian bridge. That's something we're gonna have to work with partners, and that's something we'll work through. But what we do know that's gonna happen is that Broom Bridge. So as we go forward, there is gonna be things that we don't know. There's gonna probably be some more twists and turns. There's a financial aspect to the trail maintenance that I do think we need to have a discussion with, but we can do that with our partners, right? There has been dramatic escalations in costs, but there are things that we can do in a staged approach. But I guess what my message is tonight, that everybody's always been trying to get yes. And if there was concerns, that's why we voted no. It was not no period. It was no, here's some questions and let's bring it back. I think in hindsight, my perspective, probably shouldn't have been on that very meeting. All of the stuff should have been done differently. But democracy being the way it is, it's a little bit messy. It's like sausage making, and we're going to get there. And I certainly support the rail trail, and I'm glad to see so many people out here tonight. So thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. I really appreciate you all being here. Yeah, it was a tough decision to say no. We didn't say no because we didn't want the rail trail. I've been in the community for 40 years. I've walked the rail trail for probably 38 years. Even when there was a rail line, we used to walk the rail trail. Anyways, it was kind of a perfect storm. We've been hearing about the Broom Bridge for years, and it was going to start years ago. And the rail trail was supposed to start a couple of years ago, and that didn't happen either. But everything came together all at once. We didn't know it was going to move from zero to 0.5. We were just as amazed as the rest of the community. So when we did vote no, it wasn't to stop the rail trail. It was just a positive to get the right zoning. I still today don't think it's the right zoning. I mean, we're taking away private moorage to group moorage. Group moorage is commercial, like stratified moorage or commercial marina. I guess you want to call it P3 doesn't have private moorage in it. It has group moorage. So even P3 is not right, but we can still adjust it, or we can still change it to a transportation corridor. The rail trail was purchased for a transportation corridor. It's in our OCD as a transportation corridor. All along, it's been called a transportation corridor. So we still have time to change that whenever we do. Tonight, we have to get the rail trail moving. Both Pam and I went out and had a look today at the rail trail. The gravel's coming in. They're moving south, and they're doing a great job. When they finish getting to 4.5, they're going to actually come back to 1.5. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it. So yes, we do need to keep the rail trail going. And tonight, after seeing everybody here, and myself, I would like to do it right the first time, but we don't want to lose the funding, and we don't want to put a pause anymore. But we still have time to rezone it right. So I would, tonight I'm going to vote yes, and we're going to, I'm going to keep up with that with everybody else. But we are going to look after our residents and our taxpayers. And that means we're not gonna take away the zoning that they can no longer have the docks. And so we've got to make sure we look after all of our taxpayers and make it right for everybody. So we have time to do that while they continue to work on the rail trail. So I did talk to staff today and I talked to Kelly about, you know, what would it take to get the zoning right? And yeah, we can put it on the next agenda and look. And in the meantime, the CSRD will have their zoning for now and we'll zone it right. Because we can do the amendments. But tonight we can't do anything. It has to be done in a public hearing forum and start fresh. So anyways, that's where we're at. So I appreciate you all coming out tonight. Thank you very much.
Might as well keep it over there if you two want to speak, and then we'll move it over there, okay?
Okay. When I lived in Quesnel with my 4 little daughters at the time and our wonderful wife and our dog, we enjoyed the Quesnel River Walk, which was put in all around the city, and we enjoyed that 12 months out of the year. It was just fantastic, and the businesses and coffee shops along the way benefited, and I'm looking forward to taking my granddaughter down this rail trail. She's almost walking, and I do believe that tonight is good because we're going to get this truck in first gear, and first gear isn't fast, but it is moving, and that is what we need to do tonight. I really think that old saying coined by somebody who's wiser than me, that there's nothing to fear but fear itself, is something that we need to consider. You have a council, absolutely every one of these people, they have a big heart for this community and all its citizens, and they're working their asses off to make sure that that happens, to take care of this community. And I know that that's their motivation. And so I will say that I'm excited that we're gonna get this truck going and we're gonna get a rail trail in town. And I have a saying in my job, I face a lot of hard situations, people going through a lot of stuff, and the saying that I came up with, when I look at everything at once, it's impossible, but I just say one impossible thing at a time. And we're gonna get this done, and we're gonna get going, and solutions will come as we get going. I think life is about saying yes and then figuring it out. So that's what I'm gonna vote yes tonight.
For the chair, thank you everyone for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. I also voted no. And the reason I voted no is we needed more information. And within those 4 weeks, we got a ton of information. And I thank all our partners that came out and spoke with us. I thank everybody that reached out to me and spoke to me. I thank people that came and walked the trail with us. I thank people that came to the open houses. That's what we need to do, is communicate, and we've got our communication. And I think everybody in this room has wanted that trail from the beginning. Again, you know, people say, how long have you been here? I've been here 50 years. And again, I've walked that trail since the trains ran it, and I can't wait to get going. I'm a dog person, so I walk a lot. But I think the pause was needed, and I think it gave us the information we needed, and now we move forward.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but I did want to take the opportunity to thank everybody for coming out tonight. This is a great turnout, and I just want to thank everybody for coming out. I'm voting yes. I voted yes before, I vote yes again. We can get it built, and we can figure out the rest later as we go as a community. Thank you, everybody, for coming out this evening.
Hi, everyone. I don't like going last. I am last for some reason. I want to thank you all for being here, and I'm not suggesting that doing this kind of thing as council is good for bringing the town together and livening it up here and getting all the passion and blood flowing, but that seems to be very evident tonight, and I'm a lover of passion, and I really appreciate the enthusiasm and the commitment that has been shown by all of you. I enjoyed the catch up with council happy to meet with all of you, and the passion was palpable. It was really great. I am going to vote yes tonight as well because, and it doesn't matter at this point, okay? Like I'm really just voting yes tonight. And I'm doing it because I too want to, get the trail started. I do have some reservations about P3. I'm not sure it covers everything it needs to cover, but we have time to work on that, and we can't do it tonight. I just want you to know that, never, I was probably the one that had, was the most cautious, because that's just the way I am, and I'm new, and I had so much to learn, and there were so many things that were, like everyone has said, that had changed since the last time they considered even. And, yeah, so we needed more information. I definitely needed more information. That's why I voted to delay it. But you know what? I think we're ready. I don't think that P3 is totally the way it should be, but hey, I think we can move it forward. Thank you for coming out.
I do want to echo some of this. I want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting your community and sharing your thoughts with us. I also want to thank the council that did vote against it. Respectfully, you guys did bring out a lot of questions and had a lot of questions answered, so thank you guys very much as well. Just a quick, our staff is recommending P3, and which works for this zoning, but we can have conversations about it, but just to put the website owners' minds at ease, the zoning doesn't affect your dogs. W1, which is dogs are allowed in this channel in Sycamore. So as long as you have a landowner consent, you can have a dog in the channel. So, and that's just the zoning in Sycamore. So I just wanted to clarify that for you folks there. Thank you all very much for being here. It's been, hopefully we can forge forward and move on. And I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. Thank you all for being here, guys. We have a little bit more meeting to go, so we're going to take a 5-minute break. Hey, everyone, we're gonna get started again. So, folks in the,
That's the one you were.
Brian. Talking.
Get up, Brian. Get up while you still can. Or stay, Brian.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Like that.
Are you staying, Fred?
I have, yes. I have to.
You can critique, you can critique my work.
He doesn't have a choice.
He's gotta close.
Oh, it's not for me. It's not all about me. All right, we're gonna move forward. A recommendation, or sorry, financial plan bylaw 2024 to 2028, number 1064, 2024 adoption. There's a recommendation that the District of Sycamoose financial plan bylaw 2024 to 2028, number 1064, 2024 be adopted this 10th day of April 2024. Councillor Evans, Councillor Bailey, Bianca.
Yes, so this is the financial plan for 2024 to 2028. It is a requirement for council to pass a financial plan every year, and this is what we use to set our tax rates and our utility rates. So this financial plan is proposing a 3.5% tax increase for this year and a 5% increase for sewer, which we, council adopted last meeting. And yeah.
Council, any questions or comments? Okay, let's go. Oh, whoa, Councilor Bushel.
Through the chair, Bianca, just a question on recreation. Because it's not on this balance sheet, or sacred city. Did our recreation go up or down? This budget?
The total cost of it? I believe it slightly went down because of the move of the kids club.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, but we still have funding and everything for our other programs.
all other programs have stayed the same.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, let's call the question. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, we're gonna move to staff reports. We have the Shuswap Healing Center construction update. Kelly, did you want to take it away?
Yeah, I'll be really brief. Sorry, these aren't finicky mics. So this is just an update that council will now see monthly that we receive from our builders who have officially started construction in March. Very exciting. So we have internally meetings every 2 weeks with the builders. Every other week, they're on site, and then otherwise they're virtual. And then we get a monthly progress report that will be shared with council. So just some highlights from the monthly progress report as we quickly went through it. So what they've done this month, so for the month of March, is they've set up fences, they've got the utility locates, they've done some geotechnical inspections, they've done a lot of excavation and hauling of the fill, and then bringing more suitable fill in, tapping it down. They've been busy doing a lot of dirt work. Good news is they finished, I would say 99%, if not all of the dirt work now. So we are free and clear. We're waiting for a notification from them officially that they've not identified anything of archaeological significance, which they verbally told us that, but we'd like something in writing as well. So that is a big risk that we no longer have, which we're very excited about. And what else? They've got 5% project complete so far. Some risks identified is just the potential for supplier and material delays, specifically as it relates to steel. So right now, we've asked them to get us a quote to determine the cost of modifying the load potentially on the trusses to accommodate for future solar power. So we're waiting for that quote, and we'll receive that within the next week or so, but it's put everything back 2 weeks, but I want to make sure that we have all the information, and a 2-week delay on that, I'm okay with, to determine whether it makes sense to increase the load for future solar panels or not. So we don't know what we're doing with that, but that will be brought back to council. But there is a little bit of a delay because we're waiting for that. Some other things identified is there was 3 septic tanks that were dug up. So we will be receiving some change orders, so additional costs for the additional dig there, and there was a wet spot that they had to do some additional digging and bring in some additional materials. But digging is the riskiest part of the build, that's where there's all the uncertainty, so I will take the 3 septic tanks, there will be some additional costs, but minor. Also, we did save the $200,000 winter allowance, so we have that, which I'm sure over time will be chewed up, but I mean, our goal is to be under, not over. Let's see what else. There's one other change order that we're waiting on, and that's because we had to do some modifications to the exterior as a result of modifications to the interior in terms of moving some doors and windows, because we were finalizing both, but yeah, so not a large change order, but that's something else. And we are looking at picking out materials right now, so they're giving us samples for retaining walls, building stone, metal cladding, glass colors, so I don't have all of them at this point, but they're getting all that information to me. Our next meeting is April 18th, and our first on-site meeting is May 2nd. But everything progress is moving along. I feel very confident in our builders and our project managers. They're running a pretty tight ship. We've had some correspondence with the neighboring property owners. We're in touch with them very frequently, letting them know what's happening. They're also letting us know what's happening. So we make sure that everybody is playing nicely so far, so good. So, yeah, and with that, I'm happy. So hopefully at the next meeting, we will have some final interior numbers. They're pulling that together this week. So early next week, we should have some numbers that staff can go through in more detail to make sure that we meet our overall budget, but that will be hopefully coming to council at the next council meeting. Maybe the council meeting thereafter, but we're shooting for April 24th.
Thanks, Kelly. Council, do you have any questions? Okay, you got off easy.
I saw I get
I like it. Hey, moving right along, District 6 moves, develop corporation call for volunteers. Staff report, Kelly.
Yeah. So we had operation board. There is, I believe, 4 seats open, and we've received 9 application forms. So this is really up to council. If you would like to select a few of you to meet with staff to go over the 9 applications and determine if we want to do some interviews and make recommendations to council, of which the decision is up to council, right? So everybody will see everything in terms of council. So we can do that option, or we can just bring it all to council in a meeting. It'll probably be in an in-camera meeting. It's personal information about people, but then once we make our decision, that will be in a public meeting. So it's really up to council.
Thanks, Kelly. Comments?
Boy, that's awkward, isn't it? I mean, if we do the committee route, I'd go on the committee, but I also think it might be best to do it all as an entire council in camera. That's just my thoughts on it. I think everyone will be interested, and there you go.
No.
Entire council.
I think all inclusive. Yeah. Okay, let's bring it to council.
Yeah, okay, so through the chair, then we'll bring that forward to our next in-camera meeting, all the applications, and if at that point, council chooses that they want to do some interviews, we can determine if that's in front of all of council or a select group at that time.
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay.
I like it.
Thank you. Okay, flag policy number C12, recommendation that council, is it dead? No,
Try now.
recommendation that council adopt flag policy number C12, this 10th day of April 2024. Sarah, do you want to bring us up to speed?
Through the chair, I was hoping that Candace Yost might speak to this since it's her report, but but I will speak to it. Candace wrote this report, so staff had noticed that we do not have a flag policy, and we thought that it would be wise to have one guiding flag protocol at municipal hall and other district-owned properties. So we learned a few things. We spoke with Daryl, our operations manager, and we identified all the flagpole locations in the community. So we have the Cenotaph flagpole, we have a flagpole in Council Chambers that has 3 flags, the Houseboat Kiosk flagpole off of Highway 1, of course, the Municipal Hall, and then the Sixth Fire Department flagpole. So in researching and reviewing policies adopted by other municipalities, the policy, we identified general flag etiquette, established by the Department of Canadian Heritage, and it's based on the order of precedence for flags. So Candace actually noticed, is Fred still here? We changed the flags around because the Canadian flag is always on the left and the BC flag is always on the right. We learned this through our flag policy. You can change it back if you want. So the policy also identifies circumstances under which the district will fly its flags at half-mast and guidelines for courtesy flag requests, which will require a request form. So we haven't really had a lot of requests from outside groups to fly flags for awareness. We, as the district, always flies a flag for the National Day, thank you, National Day of Truth and Reconciliation in September. And we have flown flags based on proclamation requests. So it's just providing a procedure and a form that people would fill out. I think it's that 30 days it would need to be submitted. And with that, if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer, but it's really just so that when we receive requests, we know how to follow them and everyone's being treated the same and that there's administrative fairness.
Thank you, Sarah. Questions, anyone? Thanks.
Like, just, well, you almost feel like you don't want to ask a question.
With this, I know.
Very laborious. Just if there, sorry if it's actually in here, but I didn't, so just in general, but if there was a dispute, if staff turned down a flag request, is there a provision for them to come before council to say, hey, I'd like my flag flown?
Well, through the chair, so it would be for consideration by council.
Thank you.
Sarah, did I get a first and second on that? Okay, I'm not. Oh, let's do first and second first. Councillor Beach, Councillor McKay, Councillor Beach.
I'm just wondering if there's, I didn't see a process.
No, just keep going.
Process here for people, so like making requests for flags to be flown. Is it in there? Oh, it was. Okay, sorry. That's good.
There's a form. That's, yeah, and, right.
Anyone else? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? And it's carried. Okay, notices, motion, correspondence. The Foundation Emergence Proclamation request for action. Sarah, did you want to? Sorry. Take that one away.
Through the chair. So this is for council discussion. There is a proclamation request. We do have a proclamation policy that we don't always follow. So in the proclamation policy, it states that whoever is submitting a proclamation request would need to have local sponsorship. This proclamation request does not. I did reach out and ask if they had one. I had not received a response. However, it's whatever council decides. So if you so choose to proclaim May 17th as the National Day Against Homophobia and Transphobia for 2024 in the District of Sycamus, you can do so. It's for your discussion.
Council?
Yeah, probably good to follow policy and
wait for some, a local group to support this, to have local contact or any, around the policy.
Yeah, I think that this is what I was thinking about when I said, you know, what's the process if somebody, say, wants to recognize gay pride with their colors and their flags. We don't here in Sycamore, Salmon Arm does. And I guess that got me thinking about how, is that something that we wait for the community to bring forward before we would, you know, go down that route, or is that, I don't know, it's just got me thinking about that, that's all, and I know sometimes do actually show support.
Councillor Bailey?
Yeah, sorry. No, she's great. Is that, you want to, is that a question?
Oh,
Sorry.
It is a question.
The question.
Through the chair, so any counselor can bring forward a notice of motion. So at a future meeting, if there was some interest, I'm not sure what that looks like, Counselor Beach, what you're thinking of, but you can always bring forward a notice of motion. And sorry, the request piece, so this is kind of the structure, it's submitted as correspondence, and then the correspondence comes to council, and council can make a decision. However, we do have this policy, the policy, again, just like the convention attendance, can be amended, and not require local sponsorship, but that's just how the policy is set up now. And with the new flag policy, we're looking at developing a webpage that would have information about proclamation requests, flag requests, and roundabout requests from organizations within the community or elsewhere that have local sponsorship. There's like one landing page and a form, they just select which one they're applying for.
Yeah, I mean, I would go ahead and play with it, but I actually do like the idea of following the policy because I think that is important. So I would agree with the rest of the set that there's local support for it, right? Bring it forward. I just a question. I think we did this last year though. We are okay. So, but I still agree that it should be done via our policy, because if we start ignoring it, then where is it going to end? So, yeah, I think it's just good practice.
Thanks. Go ahead, Sarah.
Sorry, through the chair, I was just going to say, I hadn't heard back from the requester, but they may respond at some point, and it can always come back. I mean, I know May's not that far away, but it could come back.
Okay, I agree. I think we should follow a policy, so I'd like to see the policy in first and then back to this. So there's no, is that fair? That was just, how do you guys over here on the left feel? Looking for policy? Thumbs up. Okay, excellent, thank you. Okay, correspondence for information. Columbia Shuswap Invasive Species Society, Invasive Rodents. Silva Convention newsletter, April 1st, 2024. Does anyone want to speak to this? All it does is it speaks to how to get rid of how you should get rid of the rodents, and that they are becoming, there's a couple of bad little rats that are becoming a problem. Councilor Rich.
I can just be loud.
Okay.
Through the chair. Last year, we put it on one of our mail outs, how to, just to remind people what they were doing with rodents. It seems like raccoons and rats are a big problem here in Sycamore. And I don't know if we've talked about that or that's something we want to do again, but it maybe reminds people to keep their shrubs down and use their eco-cycler thing and not have compost. So I would propose that again, if we do have a mail out going, and we can stick it on the back of it.
So Sarah, can we ask staff to perhaps add this to?
Yeah. Through the chair, so Campton worked on a campaign specific to rats, and I think raccoons as well. And we're looking at them when we're talking about our communications update. they're kind of fun graphics, so we can definitely launch that campaign again and remind everybody that here's what you do to avoid the attractants.
Okay, that'd be great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along, committee and regional district reports. Does anyone want to speak to any of the, or have questions about any of the committee or regional district reports? Next, all right, external committees, just for information, 2024-03-19 Malacos Sycamoose Interagency Committee meetings. Does anyone want to speak to that? Okay, Councilor.
The last interagency was actually held in the council chambers, so it was, and it's always well attended. I just want to say that, we have a good turnout of professionals and representation of organizations from the entire community that service our community. Some of the professionals come from outside our community, but they come for this meeting. And we also are running Zoom, so the meetings are really quite large, and we get a lot of input from a lot. Okay, why does it cut out?
It was the same during the election.
Yeah, yeah, no, I do too. Anyways, the turnout is really, really great, and the ability to find out what the service providers, either inside our community or from outside of our community are doing for us is wonderful. I'm glad that council chambers is being able to be used for that, because with the OWL and the help of some of the staff, it's been great and well appreciated, I think, by all of the interagency. And it happens monthly, so it's a great update for everybody to keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Beach. The strategic priority updates are strategic priorities. Does anyone have anything they want to speak to? Oh, Kelly?
Nope.
Word?
Yeah, through the chair, strategic priorities, one of the things was recreation, and I just actually heard today, and I'll have to follow up with Phil McIntyre, Paul, but there's talk today about decommissioning the All-Head Forestry Service Road, which is part of our grooming program for snowmobiling. So we do have to, I might bring that to council next council meeting after I do a little homework in the next couple of weeks. But the meeting today, there was a working group from the Shuswap Regional Trail Strategy Group for the Owlhead Blue Lake Hunters Range group, and Phil chaired it today, and he was a little concerned as well that they're talking about decommissioning the Owlhead Road. So that's our main grooming trail for Owlhead, and we wouldn't want to lose that in the community. So I'll do some homework and talk to Phil, and we'll figure out where we go there.
Through the chair, not addressing that, but I have made a commitment to say great things about our youth at every meeting, and we didn't have Cal, and taking my opportunity. So, Owen DeWitt, was a first round pick for the KIJH, which is massively huge. I'm just gonna be loud. And also, we had, through the Milton's Farm, we had, 5 kids go to a 4-H event in Kamloops with over 180 animals. And we placed first, second, and third, and fourth in heifers, and in their weight classes, they came in second and third. So they were competing from the states, Alberta, BC, and little old Sycamoose rocked it. So just again, our youth and these programs we're putting in is fantastic. And thank the parents, thank the town, just keep on it.
So one of the strategic priorities is housing, and I sit on the housing committee as appointed by our mayor, one of the people on the housing committee. So just a quick update, we had a meeting yesterday, and a recommendation out of that meeting coming to council will be to endorse a drawing plan library, so people can come to the front desk and pick up drawings that are stamped for construction. And with with two companies providing a total of about 9 drawings. And also, just a one-page letter from Saskatoon, like, thank Alvin, the manager of Saskatoon, for putting that together. So partnering with the district, Sick Moves, and that'll be part of the package that people can, if council approves it from the recommendation, Housing Society recommendation, that,
Maybe the dogs.
the package for the library plan for buildings, homes, small homes in the backyard as part of our infill policy. The one-page document explains how they can build that without any money down. And about 2 or 3 different options, so that's something that's coming to council for consideration and approval from the housing committee.
Yes, I just want to talk a little bit about health and community safety. I want to plug the food cycler program and see if we can do another round, because I think we got rid of all of them, didn't we? Pretty easily. Are we keeping a list?
We have a wait list of over 5.
Okay, all right, so I just think it's such a great thing, and everybody who's got one is like over the moon with it. So, when we talk about rats and all that kind of stuff, I think the new composting would really be something we should support and push. Anyways, that's not the only thing. Siobhan and I are working on a new set of educations for community safety and health. And are coming up very quickly. The first one is Wednesday, April 17th. The Okanagan Library is working with us to have it there. And then we have another one set for Wednesday, May 15th. Lori Weber, who spoke to us, will help with that. I believe Siobhan will be off gallivanting somewhere. And and that one will be on gateway drugs, and an opioid update, and on the sort of the inside of recovery. So some really, really interesting educations coming up. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Beach. Anyone else on strategic priorities? Okay, let's go to mayor and council updates. Councillor Evans, do you have anything you want to share?
I love y'all.
Thanks. Councillor Rich? Councillor Bushel?
Yeah, through the chair, I kind of got nervous when I was speaking there, and I didn't really finish my rail trail story. But anyways, Pam and I went out to the rail trail, and after talking to Gaze, they are going to work their way back to 1.5, and they figured that they would need to know by May 15th, roughly about May 15th. And he's just hoping that, the vote goes well tonight, and then he can start planning for the 0.5. So yeah, I just wanted to, I kind of left off where about, I guess about the 3 kilometers, I left off the 3 kilometers. But they are coming back this way, and he was hoping that he would be able to do up to 0.5. So yeah, so it was really good. If you guys get a chance to go out there and have a look. They are putting up some gates and for to keep people out while they're working. But he didn't seem to mind when they were on weekends when nobody's working. That people can still walk around. So there you go.
Perfect. Thank you. Sure.
Sorry, I really can't help myself on this one. So we passed the rail trail tonight, that's done. Then immediately right after it, we were talking about tax increases and everybody left. So I just would like to point that out, but we did do the financial budget basically tonight, and we often complain about people not paying attention to the budget side, and that happened tonight in pretty stark contrast. So hopefully that's it, right? We adopted it, or we have to adopt it one more time?
No, that was adoption.
Yeah.
Now tax rates come, I have getting those in, so it'll come to probably the next meeting.
And they left.
And yes, everybody left. So, I guess that says that, well, not everybody, and sorry, apologies for the 6 people who stayed behind. But, yeah, I just felt like I pointed that out a little bit, not as a criticism, but, just as something that happens quite often. We often talk about, how much we're trying to get people aware of the financial situation of sick moves, and it's just a tough slog. End of council report.
Oh, they layout.
That's
Go ahead. Thank you. So I forgot to report on the, muscle issue. I just, and I wonder, this does have to do with muscles. You're talking about sending out tax, requisitions. I just think that we had talked about mailing out information with those mail outs, on the muscle issue. And, anyways, I did meet with, Sheila, the boss of the chamber, and we started talking about some, sort of, combined, education projects coming up for the community and out along the lake and everything. So I just wanted to say that I started that process with the chamber. Thanks.
I did it earlier with the housing committee, that's about it.
Okay, I think that's it. I just want to thank everyone again for coming out, and does anyone have any questions from the gallery? Go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring up, you were mentioning about flags. Like we do have the one over at the Legion, and when it's half mast, that means that someone has passed away. And you can go inside and find out under the, like Mo Rudy, like politicians too. So I did, because you brought up flags, I just thought I'd mention that. I'm not sure if the Legion has one, or the big station have one.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mary. Is there anyone online? What? Go ahead, Colleen.
Yeah, and I just wanted to make a comment. We've got some numbers here. There was about 140 people that came here in person, excluding staff and council, and about 45 people online.
Wow, that was big.
Yeah.
Really good. That's good. That's great community support, great community showing. Okay, so there's no one online. Anyone online that would have some questions? Okay, that's it. I am going to call the regular council meeting for April 10th, 2024 at 6:56 to be adjourned. Can I get a mover? Councilor Bushel, Councilor McCabe, all in favor, and we are done. Thank you for being here.
Thanks.